So we're back on the banks, we are on the river, we are targeting some more pike. This particular river is one I've done quite a bit of time on over the past couple of years. Had some nice fish, some really big fish, and it was time to come down here and do my first session of the season. I've been here for probably half an hour, quickly cast the rods out, and it's looking good. We've got fairly low light levels, it's about 10 degrees, evening times are dropping down to about 5, 6, so it's starting to cool down, but conditions aren't too bad. There's no clarity to the river whatsoever from all the rain we've had, but looking at it first off, it does look good for a bite, it really does. So this is the swim that we're going to be fishing on this session, and location wise I've kept it really simple, to be honest. I've just gone 2 rod lengths up here with the bait, and then I've got a float just tucked away down here. Done a lot of sessions on this river, I've fished it quite a bit and I've had lots of fish out of it, so I'm pretty clued up with which way these fish come through most of the time. There might be the odd chance where I'll go to the far side of the river, but for the time being I always like to start out in these margin areas, especially first thing in the morning. And the clarity of water, there's pretty much no visibility at all, to be honest, but it is looking, you know, it looks really nice. We've just had a knock on the float. Yes, I think we've got a fish on. Yeah, lovely. Oh, has it come off? Oh, it's come off. Oh, denied. Let's have a look. What have we got? Yeah, very, very small pike picking the bait up. As you can see, there's tiny little teeth marks there, so I'm guessing it might have been a jack pike. Seems a lot of the smaller pike, normally this time of year, are in the actual margins, so let's get this back out there again. Well, we've just lost his first fish. You can tell a mile off it was a jack pike. You can see the small little teeth marks on the bait. And when I struck into the fish, it literally, you could just feel the fish moving, tiny little movement, and then you know exactly what's happening. The fish has grabbed onto the bait's too big for the fish, and then it's just popped off and let go, and that's why the trebles popped out. Obviously losing that fish, I'm not too fussed because it was only a small one, but if any big girls come through, we can catch them. I mean, I'm happy catching anything, but when I'm on here, it's always trying to target the big girls. So yeah, so far so good. Low light levels are still in. It's going to be a fairly bright day. I think it's going to be about 12 degrees. Tonight's going to be fairly cold. I'm here till tomorrow morning. I'm doing a 24-hour session, and then we're moving to the drains. Hopefully they're in a better state than they were last time, and then I might move to a different drain the day after. We'll just play it by ear. What have we got here? It feels like a relatively small, yeah, very small pike here. First one of the session. Only a tiny little one, and he's just hooked in the side of the mouth. He might actually come off, to be honest. Feisty little pike. Oh yeah, he might come off. He's only just hooked. Come on, little fella. Oh, it's always a pleasure to see him this time of the year. Come on, mate, let's be getting you in. That's the one. And that is what you want. Only a little babber, lovely little pike though. I mean, look at that, markings are absolutely stunning. So we'll get him back. Right, my mate. It's nice to get one early doors. Oh, he's ready. Go on, mate. That's the one. Right, so fresh bait. Trace was fine. There's a couple of kinks in the trace, but not too bad. So we'll go back in the margin area again, probably about half a rod length off this reed line. That is absolutely perfect. Like I said, I've set the float up. I'm fishing 6 inches over depth, which is normally what I'd fish on this river if I've got a float set up. So we are getting a few aborted takes. Normally this time of year I use bigger baits, normally anything between 6 to 7 inches long. On my normal sessions I'll try and get away with a 5-inch sardine, but on here, because I knew there'd be so many small fish coming through, I've decided to use larger baits. And we have had a few aborted takes. I think we've had about 5 today. rod's clicked off, the clutch, the indicator, the float, you know, whichever rod it was, and I've gone to strike into the fish, nothing there, brought it back, one of the trebles is in, there's a little scuff mark, and it's a small pike. And I've done this on purpose so I can keep the baits, quickly resit the actual treble, and then just recast it into the river. The last thing I want to be doing is going through tons and tons of bait. I did it on the drains not too long ago. I must have gone through about 1 kilo of sardine in about 5 hours, just fish after fish. And it does, you know, I've got lots of bait with me, but I don't want to be using it all up in just one particular session. So this is why I've done it, larger baits, and then I can hold on to my bait for as long as I can and hope that some big fish come through. So we're just coming up to about 5:45, maybe 6 o'clock. I think we'll have half an hour on the lure rod, see if there's any nice perch or maybe some small pike hanging around just for a bit of fun. It's not the most productive river for lure fishing on this particular section, but every now and again you might get lucky. There is a few nice perch in this particular section, so we'll give it a bash. That's not too bad. I'm going to use same old little lure, these little soft ones. I can't even remember what these were. I think these were the Fox Rage ones. Oh, that's nice and sharp. Right, let's give it a go. There's not much flow to the river at the moment, so I thought we'll have a little go. I've been using this on the drains recently, and it's not too bad sort of starting point, if you like. Small ones. I've got a selection of lures with me whenever I go, and I've always got the lure rod on any pike session because you just never know. Just packed everything away and we're moving swims. This is the new peg we're in. We'll set up here for the night. More than enough space for landing fish and whatnot, and it's a lovely peg. I've fished this one before. Right, we are all sorted. That was a bit of a quick turnaround, that was, to be honest. We are finally ready to set these rods up, and that literally 15 minutes in and out, ready to catch some fish. And if the fish are going to be down this end of the river, it just makes sense to have the rods around here. Having only caught one fish, lost one, and a couple of small ones, it just made sense to come down here and give this a go. I know it's only a couple of 100 yards away, but to be honest, anything's better than down there. It's just absolutely dead. So a quick move. Now it's time to get these rods out. Let's get this out here. We'll push this up to the right hand side of the swim. Right. Oh, right. That's both rods sorted. Hopefully tonight we might get some action, or possibly first thing tomorrow morning. Right, so that was an absolute manic move. It's 7 o'clock. It's pretty much pitch black at the moment now, so apologies for the quality. This low light level, I haven't really set the camera up that well, but the main thing is we're in a different peg, we're further up. I spoke to a lovely chap earlier on called Paul, and he was saying that he'd had a few fish this morning, and then he popped before he'd left, and then he said he'd had a couple more, so it straight away rung alarm bells. The pike are either travelling from this end down, or they're congregated in this certain area of the river. So the minute he said he was leaving, I thought, well, I've had nothing, it's dead down where I am, down the bottom section. So I thought I'll come up here, jump in the peg, and just give it a go. You know, I just want to catch a few fish, that's all I'm after. And at the end of the day, I come here to catch fish, not blank. So I think it's now time, I'll get this kettle set up, have a slurp, and then we'll just see how tonight goes. But I've cast everything out now. I'm fishing one in the margin, 1, 2 or 3 rod lengths to my right hand side. And yeah, I'm just hoping that we can get some fish in the bag. Fish on, fish on. Oh. Oh, that made me jump. I think it's about 10 o'clock at night. No, not too, oh, not too bad. Maybe a low double, possibly. Right, let's have a look. It's nice to see one bigger than 3 or 4 pound. I mean, don't get me wrong, it's not big at all. It's only a small one still, but oh, At least they're moving through. It's always this time of the evening where you think to yourself, is there any big pike hanging around? Right, mate. Come on, let's be having you. Oh, only just hooked in the scissors. Oh, that's a bit bigger than what I thought. Not massive, but that's the one. Probably a low double, something like that. So to guess, I would probably say about 12 to 13 pound. Fairly nice sized pike. So, like I say, I'm not going to get the camera out, I'll just get her back. Beautiful looking fish though, very long fish. Right, darling. That's the one. Look at the pattern, fairly thick set fish to be honest for the size of it. I always like it when they sulk in the, well, when they sulk in these margins. She'll be there for about 5 minutes, I think. Same size bait again, fairly large sardine. Hopefully a few big gills will come through tonight. Would be nice. Get a nice scraper 20 to start the account on this session. Right, let's go for it. Well, good morning, and it's about 7 o'clock. Last night was a bit up and down. We had a lot of rain last night, and the rain just kept coming and coming, so I thought, you know what, most of these sessions now, if it's raining, I'm not even bothering getting the camera out to show you. I'll just do a quick show and tell and put it back in the water. But I was hoping for some more fish. I've noticed this time of year, and it's always the same every year, October, probably beginning of November, nighttime bites aren't too bad, you can get a few, but then when it starts to cool down a bit more, forget it. I've hardly had any fish at all after that period of time. So I got up dead early this morning, about 6:30, just as it was starting to get light a little bit, and recast both the rods, put the float back on the left hand rod. And most of the time the float's there for one reason, just something for me to look at while I'm waiting for the rods to go off. But yeah, it's just a case now of we've got a few hours left, going to give it a go. A very quiet opening account on this river, but we've got, you know, it's the beginning of the season, we've got loads of time left, so I'm not too fussed yet. Now 99% of the time, every video I've done on here, open for that last fish, never happens. Never happens at all, so I've got a bit of time on my hands. I might stick it out for maybe a few more hours yet, I don't know, but I want to get one more fish before we end the video, just to finish it off with, so. Well, we've come to the end of the session. It's been a fairly tough one if I'm honest. There's been a few fish caught, only small ones though, nothing big. It seems like the big girls aren't patrolling around this section of the river at the moment, so I will be coming back. I'll be doing plenty of sessions on here like any other venue that I go to, and we're going to be in search of those monster pike. We'll just keep trying, and eventually, if you've seen my channel, they always turn up. It's just the amount of time and effort you've just got to put in to try and catch them. So now it's time to head to the fen and drains, try us look there, see if we can get any big pike. So without further ado, I'd just like to thank everybody for watching, and I will see you guys in the next video.